on this call. So, sorry, I don't have my camera on due to technical issues, but my name is Immaculate, and I'm the project manager for the local innovations for nutrition solutions, which is a 2-year project. Just like Charlene mentioned, this call will be recorded for use later on. And just to also let you know that the same content we are covering today will be the same that we will be covering tomorrow for tomorrow's session. So in case you know an innovator or interested applicant that has not joined it today, they can join tomorrow. We will also have frequently asked questions summarized from this call, and you could access this from our website, which is like the center of reference for any information that you will need for the Nutrition Innovation Challenge Fund, which has already been opened. It's already running, so please reach out to our website that we can share in the chat in case you haven't. In case you do not get the help you need from the website, in case you have challenges accessing maybe a certain type of information, you could also send us any inquiries or questions on linds@responseinnovationlab.com. That's our email, but we are positive that everything is on the website. Thank you, Charlene, for posting that in the chat, and we'll go straight into our presentation. Again, you're very welcome for this first info session online for the Nutrition Innovation Challenge Fund, which is already launched. Our agenda will have an overview of the Response Innovation Lab, REAL, and the Local Innovations for Nutrition Solutions project. And then we'll go through the basics of the Nutrition Innovation Challenge Fund. We will look at what challenge statements and solutions we will be looking out for. Then we will emphasize also the call timelines and the opportunities for partnership available. Then we'll go into the evaluation criteria and of course the selection, and then promoting collaborations, and we'll conclude with a question and answer session. Yeah, I hope that's acceptable to all of us. We intend to do this within the shortest time possible. Thank you. Over to you, Charlene.
Thank you, Immaculate. We welcome at any moment if you want to start writing out your questions in the chat box so that they're already there when we come to the Q&A moment. Don't hesitate. Thank you. And we want to start by acknowledging that some of you have been part of the journey of the Local Innovation for Nutrition Solutions project since a few months already. We have tried to apply a consultative approach, getting insights from the ecosystem in terms of what are priorities and challenges in access to nutrition solutions. And we thank you for these contributions up to now. Also, our apologies for some of you who've been on this journey for a while. Some of the content we are sharing today may be repetitive from the past. Please bear with us. We have a few new participants today. So welcome to this short introduction to Response Innovation Lab. We are a global collaboration of World Vision, Save the Children, Oxfam, and Civic at the global level that focuses on creating country-based spaces for humanitarian innovation. We act as a platform that connects national and international innovation actors of any type, be it from private sector, from academia, or from non-profit organizations, to humanitarian responders, and creating feedback loops with the affected communities. The idea is to become a platform that can help tackle critical humanitarian challenges in the specific context of the country where we are, and that allows improving outcomes for communities. We work across various topics and we always apply the same methodology. By now, our labs exist in a range of countries. In Uganda, we're hosted by Save the Children, and this project specifically around nutrition is a close collaboration with Save the Children. In Somalia, we're hosted by World Vision. In Iraq, we're hosted by Oxfam, and we also have affiliated facilities in other countries around the globe. The methodology we propose is the one we are also rolling out for this innovation fund focused on nutrition. You will see that we've been focusing on mapping and convening actors to deepen the understanding of challenges related to nutrition for refugee communities, with the objective of supporting partnership making and innovation pilots in the refugee response. We will be also paying a strong attention to the way that this experimentation around nutrition can generate evidence. Thank you for the interest specifically in the Nutrition Challenge Fund. We are truly convinced that there is a lot of potential to be done in terms of improving outcomes for communities around nutrition, and we really look forward to engaging with you on this. Back to you, Immaculate.
Thank you, Charlene. Now, if we are to go into what local innovations for nutrition solutions is, like I already mentioned, this is a 2-year project, and it can be abbreviated as LIMS. That's why you've seen so many communications coming in as LIMS. We just abbreviated the local innovations for nutrition solutions. And this project is funded by Innovation Norway and implemented by Response Innovation Lab in collaboration with Save the Children International. The main objective for our project is to find and test innovative solutions to sustainably reduce chronic malnutrition in refugee hosting communities. That is to say, both the refugees and also maybe the surrounding nationals. And then we are going to focus mainly on innovations that are local and market-driven. We will see more of this in the next slides. And our topic will revolve around food access, availability, affordability, and utilization. And if you see all these components, they lead to a common goal of achieving household food security in these different locations. So our future pilots, that's the ones we intend to conduct in 2022, will be in Chaka 2 and Rhino Camp refugee settlements. Chaka 2 is found in Chegegwa district and Rhino Camp is in Arua. And why we chose to have these 2 settlements is because Save the Children International, which is our host as Response Innovation Lab, is already well established in terms of nutrition interventions in these 2 locations. So we leveraged on that. We shall be targeting vulnerable refugee households and Ugandan households in refugee hosting communities, but specifically with children 6 to 24 months. In other words, we are targeting the first 1,000 days of life. Next slide, Charlene. Yeah, diving into the Nutrition Innovation Challenge Fund. So the major purpose for this fund, it's contributing to our main objective of finding and testing innovative solutions to sustainably reduce chronic malnutrition. Someone please confirm that you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So like I said earlier, we will be focusing on the window of opportunity or first 1,000 days of life. And this fund will take up to 5 pilots in case we get more than one pilot that is really satisfactory, and we will be flexible to dividing the total envelope into up to 5 pilots. So if we divide it up to 5, that means our total fund, which is 200,000 US dollars, will have a minimum envelope of 20,000 US dollars. The minimum of 20,000 US dollars will just be in case we have 5 pilots selected. Someone in the chat, Charlene, I need to explain why the first 1,000 days and what exactly it means in terms of target. Okay, thank you. Why the first 1,000 days of life? It's because, first of all, the first 1,000 days of life include from conception, right from when a woman gets pregnant to up to the second birthday of the baby. So why we are targeting mainly this period, it's because chronic malnutrition, or in other words, stunting, if it occurs within this period of time, the effects could be irreversible. They could not even be, but they are irreversible if chronic malnutrition occurs within this time, and it's not tackled. So to prevent stunting and all the effects that are lifetime, we tackle malnutrition in this time. And thank you, Fancy, you've re-emphasized that it's from conception to the second birthday of the child. Yes, that's true. So implementation of this fund, like I said earlier, pilot location is Chakato and Rhino Camp refugee settlements. We have a bit of what this fund will be offering in case one of the people on this call is successful. We will support the successful innovations with funding, which is also coupled with innovation management and acceleration, like, Response Innovation Lab. That's one of our mandates to start to support those innovations that are at idea stage to be able to scale up. And then another benefit of this fund, in case we get the winners, there will be an opportunity to learn more and impact measurement, and then of course linkages to the different ecosystem actors, and this includes the Save the Children presence, which is already established on ground. Yeah, so for partnerships with the different nutrition and food security and livelihood partners, this would be a very good leverage for all of us. Yeah. Next slide, Charlene. Yeah, so we are looking for solutions that are, first of all, sustainable. And by sustainable, I mean that we are not looking out for solutions that cannot go beyond the funding duration. We are looking out for a solution that we will support in the initial phase, but it will be able to go on even after the pilot implementation. Even after the funding duration that we are giving, it should be able to sustain itself and move on. The community should accept it, and it should be able to move on even past the funding stage. Then, of course, we will be looking out for those innovations or proposals that have satisfactory proofs of concept. and obviously very innovative, something that can trigger our minds to think about when we read the idea. And we also need something that is locally rooted. By locally rooted, I mean the innovation should have potential for acceptability by these communities. And in case maybe it's the innovation should be able to utilize the locally available resources as well, and still it should be sustainable even when locally rooted. The people of these communities, the target households, should be able to continue with it after accepting it. And then of course collaborations are very recommended because maybe an actor could be good in a certain point, but just to make the idea more innovative and holistic, maybe a private sector organization can collaborate with a humanitarian NGO to see that we address the issues of malnutrition holistically. And then obviously the innovation should be market driven. We should be able to look out for ideas that support the whole value chain, the whole food system, to prevent any issues of not being adopted due to maybe challenges in the market structures. Yeah. Thank you, and over to you, Charlene.
Thank you, Immaculate. So following the review of evidence and the range of consultations that were conducted in the course of the past few months, focusing on the nutrition situation in refugee communities and hosting communities, we have narrowed down the Nutrition Innovation Challenge Fund to 3 challenge statements. The first one is, how might we enhance positive behavioral change and lead to increased uptake of good care practices during the 1000 days of life? Secondly, how might we make it easier and more affordable for families to increase the frequency, diversity, and nutritional quality of meals for children under 2 years? And thirdly, how might we optimize and stabilize household access to diversified, well-preserved, and nutrient-rich food for vulnerable households with children below 2 years? And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into all of this. We will be looking for solutions, that meet a couple of criteria. They can focus on one of the challenge statements that we have just outlined, or they can incorporate several areas. But for sure, they need to clearly demonstrate how they intend to reach success in the time span of the implementation period, which will be in 2022. We need to be convinced that the innovations are going to use partnerships, are going to use localization principles, are going to think about using market forces to ensure sustainability. And we will be looking out to finding strong explanations of how the proposed innovations can be tested in the communities and how they have a high likelihood to be relevant for implementation in the specific 2 settlements where the pilots will be implemented, but also more broadly taken up in Uganda's systems. Then we also want to flag that there are some issues that have come up very strongly during our evidence review as very critical elements in terms of supporting good nutrition. And those include land access and access to financial services, as well as incomes. For sure, those are determining factors, but they are not primary areas of focus of our Innovation Challenge Fund. This means that innovations that focus primarily on improving land access and productivity as a primary objective will not meet the criteria, and innovations that focus specifically on raising household incomes and access to financial services will also not be selected. This doesn't mean that those objectives cannot be a part of the overall approach that will be presented to the fund, but this means that what we're looking for is are solutions that primarily focus on solving one of those three challenge statements. And doing so, they can also include consideration related to land access or financial services or raising income, but the primary objectives need to be the nutrition challenge. So if we go back to the three challenges to understand a little bit what we mean, the first nutrition challenge was, how might we enhance positive behavioral change and lead to increased uptake of good practices during the first 1,000 days of life? This one has been selected because of a range of observations that include the fact that there's a lot of sensitization going on, both at health centers and in communities. But nonetheless, there is only just above half of the people who receive this educational content that actually translate then into practices. Also, another observation has been around the fact that women are the main recipient of this nutritional education, but sometimes decision power in the household lies with men, which means that despite good intentions, the practices for caring and feeding children do not align with best practices. So you will see that the innovation statement is a little broad, and this is on purpose because the LINS team doesn't want to be directive in terms of what the solution is. So here you can see a couple of elements that explain the type of ideas we expect to see through the call, but we really, really hope that we will be surprised. And this is the same for each challenge. So in the case of this one, which focuses on behavioral change, we expect to see communication that is cognizant to contextual cues, communication projects that propose ways to increase male involvement, communication projects that target positive social cultural change in the community, or approaches that use new technology, for instance. Second, nutrition challenge statement. How might we make it easier and more affordable for families to increase the frequency, diversity, and nutritional quality of meals for children under 2? This challenge statement was selected because of a range of factors. For instance, it was noted that very often young children eat only one meal a day. That is the only thing that households can afford and can organize because of the other chores that are managed by women, because of the distance that women have to travel between the market and the house, between the house and the garden, etc. So in the end, the young children often eat only once a day, a meal that is actually prepared for the whole family and is not really respectful of their specific nutritional needs. So here we expect we would see interventions that mediate food access through markets, that empower households to produce nutrient-dense and easy-to-prepare meals, solutions that can improve access to complementary foods for households by making complementary food closer to them or cheaper, maybe some ideas on reduction of cooking time, or making the food easier to preserve at the household so that the children can eat several times rather than once a day. And thirdly, for the third nutrition innovation challenge, this one is, how might we optimize and stabilize household access to diversified households with children below 2 years? And here we're looking for solutions that will be promoting technologies for pre and post-harvest losses, but also opportunities to reduce food waste at household level, opportunities to help refugees and host communities take up food processing, or small enterprises around the value chain that can help conserve nutrient potential and help improve nutritional intake at the family level. And maybe also solutions that make logistics in the settlement easier, because right now, the question of access to market, especially in Rhino, is very complicated. So now we're going to move on to the call timeline, and I'll hand back over to you, Immaculate. Thanks. We are seeing some questions in the chat. We'll take those in a moment. Let us just run through the process of the call, and then we'll do the Q&A.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlene, and diving right into the call timelines that I know are very everyone is interested in. So we were able to launch the call on Monday 29th by providing and availing most of the call details on our website. We'll still share it just in case you missed out on it, and you'll be able to find all the different information that you need, the support documents that you will require. And still, if you feel like you have any questions or you need any clarifications and you do not get support from the website, please feel free to reach out to lins@responseinnovationlab.com and we'll be able to address any issues. Then from 1st, which is today, to 10th December, we will have market dialogues or information sessions, which we're already diving into. These will be online, and then within the course, we will also have matchmaking and individual consultations. So just in case you need to engage with us about a certain idea, or you're not sure about a certain innovation that you want to document, please feel free to reach out individually, or you could drop us questions still on lins@responseinnovationlab.com. And then by 15th December, we will expect to receive all the expressions of interest. So to make this more clear, since the call launch, we are open to receiving expression of interest from all the interested actors. And by 15th December, midnight, we will be closing. So that will be the deadline for submission of expressions of interest or intent to apply. This will be done by mail, and the template to the expression feel free, please get back to us. By 17th of December, we will send out invitations to those whose expressions of interest were satisfactory. We'll send out invitations to those to apply to submit their full proposals to this call. And the deadline to submission of full proposals will be 23rd January. Just to note that we will still be open to consultations up to around 14th of January. So as you come up with the full proposal, in case of any questions or clarity that you need on any call detail, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will be open to serve you. Feb to March 2022, we'll be having the selection process and the final concept then we will be able to award whoever would have taken this. Just to note, this call will be open to all types of legally registered organizations or individuals. So we could apply as an organization, a consultancy, and then single applicants or in partnership, all are accepted. But in case of a partnership, at least one of the partners needs to have a past track record in Uganda, a strong one. And then we still do recommend private sector partners to apply for this call. Yeah. Charlene, over to you.
Thank you, Immaculate. And now we just want to give you an overview of some supporting resources and opportunities that are available to you while you are developing your concepts. So first of all, we really encourage you to learn about this call, like you're doing right now with this session, and the session recording will also be on the website in case you have colleagues who would like to listen to them or other partners. And we will also be putting on the website the full call guidelines. This document will become available on Monday. So in the next few days, we will be posting additional resources, and some are already live. Please take a moment to check them. To deepen your understanding of the challenges, we are making available certain resources to you. One is a desk review on nutrition challenges, a very interesting report that was conducted by the Busara Center for Behavioral Economics in partnership with us, and has a lot of useful information. It's publicly available on our website. Secondly, there are some challenge maps that allow people to dive a little bit into the topic of the call and understand the connections between the different areas. We recommend you also take a look at those. Thirdly, we are going to be trying to support you with connection with partners. And this means that we have conducted a nutrition innovation ecosystem mapping, and the findings will be available shortly on the website, but also you are able to use our interactive innovation ecosystem map to check out who is active in the nutrition space in Uganda. More practically speaking, if you have desire to apply for this call, but maybe you feel like your idea could be strengthened by bringing on board extra expertise, which we strongly recommend, we are organizing a matchmaking session on the 8th of December. This is a 2 hours online session, and it will be a moment to reflect, bounce ideas with other experts and other potential participants, and get links to them. Maybe find a new partner or a new resource that can help you for the preparation of your concept. And finally, as outlined by Immaculate, we're trying to be responsive in terms of taking questions. So don't hesitate to write to us, but we will also give you an opportunity to book an individual consultation with us, because we understand that some of the information related to the innovation you may want to put forward needs to be protected in terms of intellectual property and also in terms of confidentiality, because this will be a competitive process. However, please note that we have to be extremely transparent and ensure all potential applicants have the same level of information. So this is why we're going to have an FAQ document that will be regularly updated. It will never include proprietary information related to your innovation in there, but we will make sure that the information we share with you individually is anonymized and made relevant to everyone, so everyone can benefit from knowing additional details in case they haven't been able to read them in the full call guideline. Just zooming in a little bit on the resources I just mentioned, the desk review report is available on the website already. And then challenge maps, we have on the left-hand side, as you can see, an overall challenge map related to nutrition. And we're also going to share challenge-specific challenge maps. So one for each nutrition challenge statement. This will be also on the website. Same with the Uganda Nutrition Ecosystem report, which HUMANITARIan group has been conducted together with us and gives a lot of information on over 300 nutrition innovation actors in Uganda. So the report with some findings will be made available, but also there will be a possibility to roam the data set through our interactive ecosystem map. So let me just take you briefly through the web page so you understand what's where. Are you seeing the web page now?
Yes, Charlene.
Okay, thanks. So on this page, you'll find some of the information we've gone over today, including the call timeline, the call focus areas, but especially there is this section with resources and links. So for instance, if you want to register for the matchmaking information session, you can already come here and click on this link. If you want to register for an individual consultation, you can already click here. If you want to read the desk review, it's linked here. And we will keep on adding resources. There is also additional guidance on the submission of the expression of interest, including the email addresses that you need to use and the template. And at the bottom, we will be also putting a recap of resources, including recordings, slides, etc. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Immaculate.
Thank you, Charlene, and please do not hesitate to drop your questions in the chat and we will respond to them after. So just to recap or be more specific on our next steps in case you intend to apply. And please remember that these slides are as of today, 1st December 2021. So for the 1st and 2nd of December, which is today and tomorrow, we'll be holding the information sessions about the call. Please, if you know anyone that is interested, they can log into tomorrow's session because this one is already gone. And on 8th December, like Charlene mentioned earlier, will be and will be exploring different opportunities for collaborations, and still will be answering any questions that come up. And then on 10th and 13th, up to 13th, December, we will be open to receive individual consultations. So please do not hesitate to book an individual consultation with us, or if you need clarity on anything, or you have a question, or you need to engage with the LINS team for maybe an idea that you're not sure about, you can book an individual consultation. Still, go to our website and you'll be able to get the link to doing that. By 15th December, we'll be closing the expression of interests and any intentions to apply. So that's the deadline for receiving EOIs. Yes, next. Next slide, Charlene. Going deeper into the evaluation and selection criteria. Sorry, I think someone is asking for us to go back in the chat. Sorry, Ezekiel. Charlene, if you may, please, someone has not got what will be happening on 8th. So Ezekiel, for 8th December, we'll be having a matchmaking session where we will be having different nutrition actors and providing a platform for all of us to be able to engage with different partners and explore opportunities of collaborations or partnerships. I hope you got the steps on the other dates. Maybe just to recap a little, 10th to 13th, individual consultations, and then we will have the EOIs being closed on 15th December. Yeah. So evaluation is that application for the full proposals will be strictly by invitation. This is just a reminder after satisfactory expressions of interest. This is not to waste your time by letting everyone submit a full proposal, yet maybe we do not get satisfied at the expression of interest. Please do not feel discouraged. We will always reach out and engage in any other way. Then proposals will be submitted, should be submitted in accordance with the instructions provided to those who submitted an EOI. So as we invite you to submit EOIs or expressions of interest, we will also put some instructions that you need to follow. And then this will be a 3-stage assessment which will start with an initial eligibility check. We'll also have some external reviewers, and then the final selection committee. This is that to assess the quality. We'll look out for innovative solutions, and of course it's not yet been tested, may not be very excellence. Yes, since this is a nutrition project and we are tackling challenges to do with malnutrition, this will definitely be something that we are going to look out for. Then we will look out for judicious use of project resources. So we expect that in case you're presenting this innovation, you should be having at least some resources as well that you're contributing, or benefits you will be bringing onto table. Okay, and potential for impact, scaling, and sustainability. Yeah, thank you. Next slide, please. I see we do not have a lot of time, so I'll go a bit faster. So we would like to promote collaborations for this call, and partnerships can be between different organizations, institutions in Uganda, or we could also include a private sector to ensure that the market strengthening is also tackled, and this is strongly encouraged. Then collaborations will eventually integrate innovative approaches to holistically address food security and among these populations, but mainly focusing on children under 2. And of course, the core 3 challenge statements that we already mentioned. Still through partnership collaborations, we will be able to share learnings and findings and develop innovations that can have impact on a greater scale. So here we are just showing you the very many advantages of collaborating, and we recommend it. Thank you. In case you do not have an intention to apply, but you're on this call, we would still love to engage with you. And in case you would want to engage with us, please, you can either ask to join the selection committee. We'll be putting out more information about this on our website, and you can also reach out to us bilaterally. Then you could also propose services of technical expertise, maybe consultations or engaging with us on the different assessments or activities. And then you can obviously join the nutrition ecosystem. This is an encouragement to all of us. In case you've not yet joined, please fill out or share to others the mapping survey. A link can also be shared to that so that we effect it for those that have not yet. Yeah, and don't hesitate to reach out to us still in case of any questions after this call on lins@responseinnovationlab.com and our website that is displayed already. Thank you. That's the end of the presentation, and over to you, Charlene.
Thank you so much, Immaculate, and thank you everyone for your attention. We're going to start with the question from Gudrun, and then if others have questions, please start typing them out or raise your hand and we will invite you to share. So the question from Gudrun was around market-driven, whether this is an essential criterion or it is a nice to have one. So it is highly recommended, but if your innovation can demonstrate that it can be sustainable without being market-driven at the end of the pilot phase, we're open to hearing about that. The idea underpinning this call is that we want to move away from traditional humanitarian programs where the nutrition intervention heavily relies on the funding for a specific project period, during which households are supported with complementary food, with nutrition education, and when the project funding ends, then the activity ends. So this is why we're looking specifically for innovations that can be different, that can maybe use market forces to stay afloat once the initial setup is finished. But if you believe you have a case to make for an innovation that can be sustainable through other ways, we are open to hearing about it. Thank you. Do we have questions in the audience, please?
Hey, Charlene, someone just sent a direct message in my chat asking if solutions from universities or academia can be accepted, that if we can maybe talk more about the legality of the organizations that are required.
Thank you. Absolutely, solutions from academia are welcome. The only criteria to have in mind is that considering we're going to be working with highly vulnerable populations, we can not work with solutions that have never been tested and don't have a proof of concept. This would be highly risky and unethical. So that's maybe the only caveat for academically developed solutions. If it's the first time they are being developed, then it's not going to be possible. But if it's a solution that has a proof of concept, absolutely. So all types of organizations are welcome to apply, either individually or in partnership. For instance, a partnerships between an academic organization and a community-based organization that already has boots on the ground in rhino settlement. That could work, why not? And other configurations are also welcome. And maybe just to flag the intellectual property of the solution, which I'm assuming is also one concern from the academic side here. Intellectual property rights remain with the innovator, but there is a need to demonstrate that it can be brought out to the benefit of vulnerable communities. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Other questions? You can raise your hand or you can type it out. We have another few minutes before the end of this scheduled time window. All right, I don't see any hands. Ah, yes, Noela Divine. Yes, please, Noela.
Good afternoon, Charlene and all the colleagues. Immaculate, thank you for your presentation. I'm Noela, and I represent private sector, a company called Divine Organic Foods. I am quite interested in applying, and I will be applying, definitely. But I would want to find out from the team, because while you encourage collaboration, which I also agree with the need to collaborate, companies that do not have a physical presence in either of the two camps and yet would want to apply. Could you make a comment about that?
Great, thank you, Noela, you're welcome. It would be a possibility, we can help you find a partner. And one of the opportunities to do that is participating in our matchmaking session on the 8th. So we would strongly encourage you to join there. And also you can flag to us if you're still looking for a partner to apply with, so that we try to make introductions targeted to your ask. So if you're looking, if you want to go to Rhino and you want to work with a community-based organization, then we'll try to introduce you to a community-led organization in Rhino Camp, etc. Yeah, so we understand not everyone is linked with all potential partners, and we would like to support you with this.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Noela. Any other question? A last one before we close? Great. Thank you so much for joining. I see no further questions, but as mentioned by Immaculate, we remain available on links@responseinnovationlab.com to receive your questions. Please register for the next steps, the matchmaker. Please keep an eye out on the website to read all the resources we are making available to you. Please, if you haven't done so, Kevin has posted in the chat also a link to make sure your organization appears in our nutrition innovation ecosystem mapping. We're really looking forward to your great ideas, and we thank you for your time today. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon and thank you.
You're welcome.